Pieces of Me by Anexis Matos. Read by Sandra Geyer. Dedication. To my grandfather. Unfortunately, he passed away in December of 2023. I thank him for always being there and for being a wonderful grandfather. May he rest in peace. Introduction. While it took me some time, I'm proud of putting this collection together. I recently got back into poetry and don't often get inspired to write a poem as often as I used to when I was 17. This is a small win for me, since I wasn't sure I would be able to release a book this year. For my debut collection, I decided to organise my poems around a broad theme. I share pieces of me in each poem, from personal experiences in my teens to a story about a tragic love story between a priestess and death. This was so much fun to write, and I can't wait to publish another collection. All of these poems were previously published in one way or another. Most, if not all, were published on my blog, but many have also appeared in my college literary journal or newspaper. I'm very proud I managed to get my work published before I decided to officially start my author career. It absolutely gave me the confidence to self-publish because I put myself out there before I knew this was an option. I hope you enjoy this collection as much as I enjoyed writing it. Also, if you stick around to the end, you'll get a teaser for my next book. The Truth of Blindness. I walk among them through the hallways blind, wondering what they find so frightening. Walking with them, nothing is brightening, and I see that true friends are hard to find. When someone happens to say something kind, the endless pressure is less tightening. Everything they say is enlightening, but the storm of emotions can still bind. Their words and voices echo in my brain. It seems as though the teasing has no end, and anger surrounds me like a dark stain. Blind as I am, I always tend to gain. I am happy to have found my true friend, because with true friends there is no dark rain. The best version of me. I buried you, destroyed you. Why are you here? Quiet, weak, unsure. Why are you here? I'm back to being you, the version of me I never wanted to be. Quiet, weak, unsure, but here I am, here you are. You hold my hand. Yours is soft. You are a child. Your smile is warm. You offer me kindness when I don't deserve it. I've abandoned you, pushed you away, buried you, destroyed you. I made sure you stayed in my past. You were weak. I needed to be strong. Your voice is soft when you ask me what's wrong. You touch my shoulder and kneel beside me. I tell you I'm lost and have nowhere to go. I've been lost for some time now, letting others guide me to the destination they wanted, that I wanted at some point. I realized too late how easy it was to get rid of me, the same way I got rid of you. You extend your hand. I hesitate, staring up at you. Why offer your hand when I abandoned you? I take it, and you help me stand. I was wrong. You're not weak. You just may be the best version of me. The Girl from the Dark Side. I never liked her, but she's still there, just waiting to be released. She bides her time until she knows she can come out and release her rage upon her target. Her dark eyes stare out into the world. She constantly looks at her surroundings and glares at those who have made her who she is. She remembers her past and glares at her memories while she plunges into an ocean of grief, where she wonders what she could have done differently to change the events that made her who she is. She's a monster with poisonous fangs created by pain and suffering. She's filled with resentment and a strong desire for revenge, a strong desire to make those who hurt her feel guilt, a strong desire for them to apologize and truly mean it. When someone attacks, Her poisonous fangs sink sharply into her target. She takes over like a ghost and dominates my every move. I can't think. I can't stop her when she decides to let out all her anger. The grudge she holds increases her resentment towards those in her past who have already hurt her and increases her desire to stop others from inflicting more pain. When her attack is over and her rage has gone down to a minimum, she returns to her lair, her mind filled with dark thoughts. I return to my previous state when she's gone, a state where I'm calm, knowing she'll return once more to deliver another attack. Empty light. I reach into myself, a barrel of blinding light pushing towards her. I can't see her. She's hiding. She must be planning, an angry, irritated, wrathful warrior waiting to strike. She usually sleeps, but she chose to strike today, extending her claws and tearing its skin, leaving nothing in her wake before returning to her lair. I'm surrounded by her when I find her. She seems to be darkness, but she's me, made of anger and barely restrained temper. Always hiding. Because I push her away. I force her to hide. Because I don't need them to see her, but I can't stop her when she strikes. I reach into that empty light and take her cold hand. I hold it tight as she attempts to pull away. Anger in every movement. She has a right to hate me, right? I push her away, all the time. Shouldn't she hate me? Sometimes I hate her. She never listens. She never leaves. I can never be free of her. My love, my dear, darling, darkness, sleep. All is safe. No harm will come to you. She does sleep. But I know it's only for a short time. A letter to younger me. You were right. I'm sorry to say you were. It's hard to admit you always were, but you were. Surprisingly, you understood before I ever did. You understood how things were, how things can still be what I refused to for many years. Somehow I couldn't see. It took exploration, a story, a character, someone similar to me. Things have changed, but not by much. Things are better, but not always. My advice is not helpful, but here it is anyway. You deserve an apology more than anything else. I'm sorry. I understand now. I understand. I understand. I'm sorry. You're wonderful. Intelligent, beautiful, very talented. No, it won't be over, but you'll grow up. You'll learn. Remember, you can't change everything, but you can change what happens around you. You can change who is around you. You can change how you react. That's all I can give you, because that's all I know. But knowing you, you'll learn something I didn't. Sound memory. Do you remember the memory of that sound? What is it about that great sound that covers you in a memory glove, that takes you over and spins you around until you arrive at a different time? To this day, you remember where it came from and why it's a reference to this rhyme. You remember that great sound by its name. It held something special that would surprise you immensely, and no matter the day, you knew it came from someone with bright eyes, who with no doubt would always light your way. To some, it's nothing but a simple noise, but to you, it's like a determined voice. A selfish choice. I love you, like I love very few. There are moments when you irritate me, but I'm sure I do the same to you. There are moments when I hate you, despise you, wonder why people push you on me, question why I would want you. You cry, scream, whine, complain, irritate me, exhaust me, drain me. You make me hate you. You want connection, a bond. I can give you that. But not when you're so close, when you're so easy to break, when I know the fucked up world will hurt you, destroy you. When I know I'll hurt you, unintentionally, but I'll hurt you, when I know I can't protect you. It's implied I'm wrong. They say having you is a beautiful act, a blessing, some kind of fucking miracle. For them, maybe, but while I love you, I don't want you close. I want to scratch out their eyes, force them to see. Look, I want to scream. Look what others have done, what you want to force on someone else. On me. Look, that's what they do to me over and over and over. The reasons they give me are selfish at best. They want to force a burden on you, one I don't think you should have. I'm meant to love you, not be selfish and expect things you may not be willing to give. I don't scream. I explain. Give an alternative, only to be told it's not a good one, that having you is the best way. But I don't want you. You're selfish and ask for too much. You want things I'm not willing to give you. Isn't it better then if I don't have you? If I love you from a distance, if I give you only what I'm willing to? Would you not be happier? Would I not be? I want my freedom, and you would deny it to me. Others might say I'm selfish. I'm happy to admit I am. I'm selfish because I want what's mine, what I deserve, what you would deny. But they're selfish too, for pushing you on me. But to me, you might just be the most selfish one of all. Let's play pretend. Let's play pretend. The world is not an awful place. It's not a broken place. Nothing needs to change. Let's play pretend. My life isn't shattering around me. Pieces of me aren't being shredded like an unwanted letter that arrives in the mail. Let's play pretend. I'm not struggling to ask for something that should be given without so much work. That I didn't cry in front of an unseen audience because of you. That you have not disappointed me after so many years of giving me hope. Do you still want to play pretend? Will you not apologise for all the harm you've caused, for all the sadness, for all the heartbreak, for all the stress? Here I am hoping again like you'll listen, like you'll ever apologise, like you won't disappoint me, like you won't give me hope and break me again. You'll play pretend, you'll always play pretend. You'll drag me along with you, keep me against my will until there's nothing left of me. My vagina's crime. For 4 days every month, I get an unwanted visitor. She never announces herself, never knocks on the door. She's only too happy to disturb my life. I'm in no physical pain, but I'm still in pain. I will be for many years, because I'm not lucky enough for her to go away early. I suppose I can befriend her, but I hate her. I only tolerate her because I have no other choice. Her first visit was unknown to me. It all started with a few drops of blood on my underwear. I don't remember feeling any wetness. I don't remember its scent reaching me. Someone told me about her arrival a month later. I grew up knowing about her, but I understood she would only offer physical pain. My physical pain is not too bad if I get any. It only lasts a few hours, and it rarely comes at all. Since I was forced to be her accomplice, no one could know about the blood, so I wore pads for years. They stuck to my underwear and were uncomfortable. They were diapers that only lasted 4 hours. If they stayed on longer, the crime scene would be visible to whoever was paying attention. I found another way to be her accomplice. Special underwear covers up the crime for 20 hours. At least now I can pretend I'm not an accomplice. For 4 days every month, pieces of me are taken by her, but my choices are limited. I'm forced to let her take me piece by piece. Naked. My bathroom has a mirror that I stand in front of every day. We're about the same height, but it's part of a cabinet, so it sits a few inches from my face. I used to pretend I could see myself in mirrors. When I put on makeup, I told people I was looking at myself. I don't pretend anymore. But what would I see if I could? Would I pay attention to a specific part of my face? To what I think are 2 large breasts? The one part of my body I don't particularly like, would it be to the parts I don't care about? My armpits and vagina always covered in hair. The legs I refuse to shave because it feels strange. Or perhaps I'll see nothing. What is there to see besides the obvious? Nothing too interesting. Nothing new. Just the usual. Cure. They've prayed, asking some god to heal me, to cure me. I know they're kind, but I wonder if they think at all. Why would I be blind if their god didn't want me to be? There's no cure. Maybe there will be, but not yet. Blindness is here to stay. Nostalgia. Nostalgia is an old friend. Sometimes it's known to you, other times it's a stranger, but you just know it, a song, a vibe. It doesn't matter, even as a stranger, you know it when you see it. Nostalgia is the friend you reach out to when nothing is working out. It comforts you, distracts you, gives you a moment of rest, a moment of peace. Nostalgia is sometimes hated, but also beloved. It's beloved by people like me. I'm overwhelmed often, but nostalgia is always there, ready to offer its warm embrace. Demon in the Snow. I need to make a bloody call, to keep a secret from them all. I want to be the stabbing knife and silently cut strands of life. Those are the words I tend to sing, my low, sweet voice like dark bells ring. I whisper words that flow so sweet, their lives I claim like food you eat. The seasons come, the seasons go, and still I kill and let blood flow. A boy I was, when friends I killed. My thoughts I hid while my blood chilled. Just one I meet, one I protect, yet things he feels, things I reject. A weapon he slowly became, yet on no life does he have claim. His life he gives for mine, yet in my eyes no tears can shine. Like him I'll die, my blood will flow, but I'm the demon in the snow. I will burn down the world for you. I will burn down the world for you, he says. He says this with confidence, leaving no room for argument. He's arrogant. Delightfully so. Annoying, but incredibly appealing. It turns me on. He may be a little toxic, but he always, without failure, says the right things, does the right things. He's toxic, but he's perfect. He's probably fey, in fantasy anyway. If he's human, definitely rich. He'll hand me the match. All I have to do is ask. He'll watch, encourage me as the world bends to my will. He'll fight me. Ask me to fight him and enjoy every moment of it. It turns him on. But most importantly, he's mine. Only mine. His world revolves around me. My word is his law. He can be a villain, but he's my villain. The world will only see what he wants, but I get everything. I get all of him. I will burn down the world for you, he says. I smile to myself, knowing it's true. If I want it, he'll burn down the world for me, but he should remember that he offered. I didn't ask. Letter to Akira Toriyama. From time to time, I think about you. Not in depth, but I do. Your stories, your characters, your time, your dedication, your genius. Why should I think of authors? You're deities in your own right, giving us gifts that we don't always deserve. Then again, that's how benevolent deities are, aren't they? But you're different. You were in my life before I knew who you were, before your name was connected to my favourite obsession. Your characters came into my life when I was a little girl at 5 p.m. on Channel 11 in tropical bliss. I remember showing up in the middle of episodes, forcing my cousins every summer to find something that was Dragon Ball. I was obsessed as a girl, but the more I watch it, the more I love it, the more I appreciate it, the more I wonder why I can't read your original source material. Damn the lack of innovation to make manga accessible. My favourite is still the first series. I started with Dragon Ball Z, but Dragon Ball is your best work. Throughout the years, I've learnt to appreciate you. You gave me characters to love, characters to aspire to be like, messages to take into my life. You gave me a foundation for my writing. I wrote fan fiction that will never see the light of day, thanks to you. You passed away at 68, leaving us your mark, your stories, your characters. You left the world a reason to keep going, a reason to hope, a reason to keep looking for the best in our lives. Thank you for your stories, your characters, your time, your dedication, your genius. Thank you for giving us a gift we don't always deserve. A priestess so clever and kind. There once was a princess so clever and kind, born to a kingdom where hearts were left behind. Her world was cold, so dark and bleak. She was always silent, for she could not speak. Magic paid a visit on stormy skies of grey. They saw her potential and chose to stay. A gift she was given, one with no strings, but visions followed, forming dark rings. In silence she grew, for secrets she kept. She was betrothed to a stranger. In silence she wept. The wedding day came. She played her part. She made a request, choosing her heart. From princess to priestess, the change was fast, but not all was well. Her peace would not last. A mother's death created sharp thorns. She held on to kindness, but vengeance she swore. Her work paid off. Death's servant she became, but before they met, she knew they were the same. A companion Death asked for, she willingly agreed. Her magic smiled, waiting to be freed. Death was kind, though their work was not always so. They took her thorns, letting white flowers grow. Visions came again. She saw her end, another secret to keep, for Death's rules must not bend. Love paid a visit on rays of dark light. She ignored it, but Death took flight. She saw Death change, cover the world in mist, but when they claimed her, she could not resist. A year she stayed, a year she flew. Time was running out, but her love only grew. Her end came. Death reached her with ease. After their last kiss, she begged for peace. Death granted her request. For how could they not? She was theirs, the woman fate to them brought. To the mortal realm, a visit was paid. Cloaked in shadow, grief was Death's aid. The killers were found. Death set the stage. Claiming their souls, Death unleashed their rage. There once was a princess so clever and kind, born to a kingdom where hearts were left behind. There once was a priestess, so clever and kind, who earned death's love, love that still binds. Beware the priestess, so clever and kind. For from death she was taken, now the world is blind. Tap, tap, tap. Tap, 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 tap. Tap, 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 tap. That's my world when I write, when stories fall from my fingers, when a world wants life, and characters want to live there. Tap, 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 tap. Tap, 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 tap. The keyboard must hate me. It must want me to stop. I can't. The story doesn't want me to. It's not done. The characters are not whole, not done growing. Tap, 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 tap. Tap, 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 tap. The device is screaming. It asks for a break. The voices speak to themselves. I don't allow them to speak to me. They interrupt the story, and we can't do that. It'll take too long to return. Tap, 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 tap. Tap, 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 tap. I'm slowing down. I can't write anymore. The characters want a break, and the story needs time away. Tap, 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 tap. Tap, 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 tap. The keyboard has stopped working. We pushed too hard. No matter. There are other ways for the story to come to life. I consume stories to escape. I consume stories to escape, to not be consumed by the shadows, to stop myself from constantly reacting, to keep from destroying myself. I consume stories to escape, to keep the demons at bay, to keep my already broken heart from breaking even more. I consume stories to escape, to keep from remembering the challenges that constantly plague me, to feel normal in a society that doesn't view me as such, to be normal in a society that views me more like a problem or liability than a person, to be normal in a society that offers me less than what I deserve. I consume stories to escape, to enter worlds where I don't have to think about any of this, where I don't have to think about myself. I consume stories to escape, so that when it all goes to hell, I am not here. Dear reader. Dear reader, my mind is a mystery. I discover more than I know. My mind is a maze of closed doors and unexplored corridors. When I enter a new one, I find something delightful. Dear reader, my mind spins with new stories, new worlds, new universes, new creatures, new people. I never have names for them, but I can't wait to see them. They're a part of me before they become real. Dear reader, a good story is a cure, an escape from the world. A fictional world is a place of excitement, new adventures. Dear reader, it's easy to travel through stories. There are no expenses, no risks, no need to plan. Dear reader, stories and their worlds have caught me in their trap, but I don't plan to escape. Somewhere I know. Imagine sitting on an empty land. A mysterious pathway welcomes you, a world you know like the back of your hand. A place of light and joy for only two. A planet of alien emotions, a fantastic mystical dimension where feelings are like clouds of deep oceans, a different state of no deception. A stunning picture of tranquility that only comes through imagination, an image of your best ability where a melody is your creation. A legendary place of peace and love. This is the place I have always dreamed of. The Beginning of Us teaser. I grew up in Caldera. My mother left the kingdom for some time and had an affair with a married man. She didn't know he was married until his wife caught them having sex in a hotel room. She found out she was pregnant in Caldera and decided not to tell him anything and raise me on her own. From what I was told, Elle was very happy to have a younger sister. Elle told me that being an only child was boring and that she was happy she would finally have someone to play with. Mom had been married to her dad, but he died when Elle was 2. She never remarried. Caldera is a shelter for gifted humans with magical abilities. They know them as special abilities and have no idea of the existence of other realms. I only found out about other realms when I was at the Western Empire. You were the first person I met from a different realm. I'm sure you remember the first time we met, but you didn't recognize me when you saw me again. I don't blame you for that. There was nothing about me to notice. What? What does she mean? The first time, nothing to notice? Lord Death frowns. What is he forgetting? Growing up, I knew about the dangers of being gifted. When they're born, possibly gifted children disappear. Nobody in Caldera knows how, but I do. Unfortunately, I found out, and it was the reason I ran away. What? Lord Death says. How? I'll explain in a minute, she says. Lord Death nods. I apologize. After finding this out... I know, she says. Ezra woke up this morning, and for a moment she was confused. Where was she? Where was Vivian? Only a few hours ago someone attempted to take her daughter for her magic. Lord Death appeared a minute later, kissing her forehead. It's all right, darling. We're in error. Last night came back to her then. She blinked. Where is... Vivian is all right, he said. She's playing with Ciri. Who is Ciri? Her new friend. She's a shadow dragon. She will be perfectly safe. Ezra relaxed a little. He wrapped his arms around her, pulling her into his lap. I need to talk to you later. I know you just woke, but I wanted to tell you beforehand. About what? She asked. He explained what the sentinel told him. Ezra knew then she couldn't hide her past anymore. Okay, tonight, when Vivian is asleep. All right, he said. Vivian fell asleep half an hour ago. Ezra read her a story. Can Ciri stay? She asked. If she wishes to, Orion said. Ezra nodded. Ciri climbed into bed next to Vivian. Good night, Starlight, he said. Good night, Papa, she said. I love you. I love you very much. Ezra hugged her before leaving with Orion. They went to his balcony and sat on the couch. I'm going to tell you my past, she said. All right, he said. Here she is now, explaining a part of her life she hoped she didn't have to. A part of her life she can never forget. It's always there looking over her shoulder, waiting for her to make a mistake. Where was I? She asks. The children taken in Caldera, he says. Oh, right. This has been Pieces of Me by Anexis Matos, read by Sandra Geyer.